Right, welcome to part three. So at this point, you're probably wondering, I've told you about two different orbits where satellites occur and their space applications. And you're wondering, what is the point of spending billions of dollars, um, and how much money do you actually generate? Well, firstly, in terms of the world revenue, currently in 2018, it was $350 billion for satellites services. Or, yeah, satellite systems. And of that, about 50% came from satellite services. So, like Earth observation and telecommunications and things like that. So, $350 billion in revenue is quite a lot. How much does Africa spend? South Africa back in 2013, actually, South Africa and Nigeria back in 2013. South Africa spent $23 million and Nigeria spent $70 million. So you can sort of do the maths on how much the continent actually spends altogether, probably less than $10 billion. And we don't, and the revenue generated back is probably not sufficient. We probably maybe get less than 5% of that $350 billion. And we pay more for these services than we actually get back. So we should probably try to improve that going forward. And so, yeah, so that's basically new skills and new jobs in the market so we can reduce our unemployment rates going forward. And I also did a little bit of more investigation in terms of space imagery and how much it actually costs. So I went on a site that actually uh, sort of gave me an estimate of how much space satellite imagery would cost. So I looked in the satellite imagery for South Africa, one in Cape Town and one in Joburg. So what happened was you pay for the how good quality it is. So that in terms of resolution. So when I talk about resolution, I'm talking about how much each pixel represents on the ground. So if they say the image is 0.5 meters resolution, so it means that each pixel in an image, so let's say you have a 2000 by 2000 pixel image, so each pixel represents 0.5 meters on the ground. And yeah, you might get charged per square kilometer of that image. So one image could roughly be it's about 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer, if my maths is correct. That's the size of the image represented on the ground. And you can actually see it very quite clearly, different objects on the ground, depending on what sort of image you're looking at, whether it's black or white or optical or radar, just depends. So that image cost $5,300 for just that one image. So I did say there's free ones, but you can just imagine you get charged $5,300 for one image. This was one in Cape Town. The one in Joburg was about the same, actually, same resolution, but it was much cheaper. It was $350. I think it was due to I think the image was much smaller. So you can see the range different of prices depending on the different suppliers of the satellite imagery. And I didn't mention last time you can even pay $75,000 if you really wanted to. These are the commercial entities. The military entities, the military budget, people just don't care how much it costs. They just want it. So if you really want to get into the business, just go into military technology and you're pretty much sorted because countries will just want to buy in companies as well. And so if you take enough pictures and people want to buy them, you can see that the money starts to add up. You can actually make a huge amount of profit, especially if your satellite costs like what, $150 million. You'll easily get it back if it lasts 7 years in space. If you are going to sell all this imagery, or if it takes 10,000 images, maybe people only buy 100, you can easily get 5.3 million if you charge $5,300 for each one. Also, when I said you could make your own satellite, I looked at the numbers. Again, I went to a cube shop I just searched for cube shop parts on Google, or CubeSat parts, and it gave me a cube shop. I went and looked for South African manufacturers. There's actually quite a few here. And some of their parts were quite expensive in terms of rands, but in terms of dollars, it's reasonable. It's decent actually. So in terms of rands, I saw one part. It's just like a small part, but it's like essential. It cost about 2 million rand. I think it was like, yeah, it cost about 2 million rand. So you can easily see you can make money. Um, Obviously, you have to prove that it actually will work, but once you do that, you can easily charge 2 million rand going up. So in total, if you want to build your own satellite, small satellite, the CubeSats, you cheapest one I've seen, if it's a very basic one, it's like $200,000. Maybe it lasts for about 3 months, 3 to 6 months. But if you want it to last for more than a year, it's about $1 million. So that's about 16 million rand. Getting all your parts and it lasting maybe 1 to 2 years, then you'll be good. In space, you usually get charged per guarantee. So if they say it's guaranteed to last 1 year, it will hopefully last 1 year. But it does last more after that. So you can still make more money after that. See you guys next week.